Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1702.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about what successful women should know beyond their financial advisor. If you have a financial advisor, I want to start by saying that's a good thing. This podcast isn't about firing your financial advisor. Your financial advisor manages your money, and that's important, but you still should understand it. A good financial advisor can be an important part of your financial team, but there's a difference between delegating the management of your money and delegating the understanding of your money. While an advisor manages your investments, you still need to understand them. Because at the end of the day, it's your money, your future, your retirement, and your financial freedom. It's kind of analogous to going to the doctor, and you're comfortable with the doctor handling a lot of your health, but you don't delegate all of your health to your doctor. You take some responsibility for understanding what your doctor's talking about and for understanding the right things to do on your own that you can do yourself. Hiring experts is a good thing, especially in finance, but hiring an expert doesn't mean giving up responsibility for understanding what they're doing. Sometimes that's the situation that women find themselves in, is that they have to rely 100% on trust of another person, sometimes someone they don't even know very well, because they don't have an extensive understanding or knowledge base themselves. And because of that, they can't determine whether the financial advisor is actually doing what they would want them to do if they knew what to do themselves. I hope that makes sense. Your financial advisor's responsibility is generally to make recommendations based on your goals, your financial situation, your time horizon, and risk tolerance. But your job is to know what you want your money to accomplish, and those aren't necessarily the same thing. Are you primarily trying to preserve wealth, generate income, retire in 5 years? And here's the thing, no matter what age you are, you still need to outpace inflation. You still need extensive growth in your portfolio. Trying to just preserve it all is often going to mean you're going to lose purchasing power, so you're actually getting poorer each year. Sometimes people communicate one thing thinking it will translate into the right investments, but oftentimes it doesn't. People may say, I don't want to take too much risk, or I don't like risk. What that means is you've just limited how much growth you're going to have in your portfolio. We all need growth in our portfolio. We all need our money to work harder for us. But sometimes financial professionals have limitations in terms of what they can offer you for that growth. Some financial advisors are limited by their firms based on how much your portfolio is worth. And only high net worth people, those with 5 million or more perhaps, will be offered certain investments, and those with less than 5 million won't even be introduced to those investments. It doesn't seem fair, but that's how firms are organized. Right now, I think that's particularly important because we're entering an extraordinary period of technological change. And that means there's extraordinary opportunities available that didn't exist even 5 years ago. I've been talking for a while about the quantum age, and in fact, I wrote a book about it 6 years ago. The quantum age is bringing in rapid technological change, things like artificial intelligence, robotics, quantum computing, blockchain and digital assets, and a new financial infrastructure, biotech, and genomics. And I'm not saying that you need to invest in all of these areas, but if you don't have a strategy that incorporates at least some of these categories, you may be missing out on some of the best growing assets of our lifetime. And that's why successful investors need to understand what's happening and what their investment choices are. If artificial intelligence is potentially one of the largest economic transformations of our lifetime, shouldn't you understand how much exposure your portfolio has to it? If private companies are remaining private longer, shouldn't you understand what private markets are? If digital assets are becoming part of financial infrastructure, shouldn't you understand the difference between speculation and actual utility and the new financial system that's being put into place? Education about these things gives you the ability to make better decisions about where and what to invest in. Now, financial advisors are hired to manage money. They're not hired to educate you. And that's where some of the shortcomings happen. But being educated about money can actually improve your relationship with your financial advisor, because by becoming financially educated, your conversations with your advisor can change. You'll be more on the same page. You'll understand more of what they're talking about, and they'll understand more of what you mean. A good advisor should welcome an educated client who asks thoughtful questions, and they'll appreciate the fact that you're already up to speed and they don't have to take their time to try and educate you on something. And sometimes that can be very challenging because the lingo is awfully thick on Wall Street. And all this talk about PE ratios and alpha and beta are something that advisors work with every day, but everyday investors don't. And that's why it can seem like you're not even understanding what they say sometimes. Financial services can make investing sound incredibly complicated. I know. I was in the business for decades. I worked with thousands of financial advisors. So I'm generally a very pro-financial advisor. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying a good education around finance is going to help you work with your financial advisor even better, and it may open up other investing opportunities for you. I like you to think about your financial life as a business, and you're the CEO of your wealth. Your financial advisor may be an important executive on your team, and so is your CPA and your attorney and your insurance professionals. But none of them is the CEO. You are. You don't need to personally perform every function in a company. You hire talented people. But the CEO understands the overall strategy and knows what questions to ask and how to evaluate results. That's how I want you to think about your wealth. So here's a simple exercise you can do after listening to this podcast. Pull up your investment accounts. Ask yourself, do I understand what I own and why I own it? Look at every major holding. What is it? What does it invest in? Why is it in your portfolio? And what role does it serve? Is it for growth, income, stability, diversification? If you don't know, that tells you there's a gap in your knowledge. I'm not trying to turn you into a professional trader, and you don't need to know everything that your financial advisor does. But you do need to know enough of the right information to ask the right questions, to recognize opportunities, and to know when something doesn't make sense. You also need to know something about markets, what drives markets higher, what causes them to crash, and when and where do those things happen? How do investment cycles play into this? One thing I know is you're capable of understanding your money and your investments, and you don't have a lot of time. Most people are trying to find financial information wherever they can. They're listening to podcasts, they're reading books, they're reading financial magazines and blogs. The reality is they're getting different information from different people, and it's extremely confusing. One person's contradicting another, and you're trying to figure it all out. And that's why I created the Be Wealthy and Smart VIP experience. It fills the gap between having someone manage your money and becoming a more knowledgeable, confident investor yourself. It's not designed to replace a financial advisor. Many of our members have financial advisors, and that's awesome. But what you're getting is education, ideas, perspective, and ongoing market intelligence that traditional financial or advisory relationships are not structured to provide you. And that can make you a more educated investor. Instead of simply receiving statements and performance reports, you learn why investments may be attractive, what's going on in markets, how different asset classes work, and what to think about risk, opportunity, and compounding. You discover new investment ideas. You don't have to spend hours every week searching for opportunities to take back to your advisor. We have a core portfolio to help you if that's something you want or something adaptable for your 401k, for example. But we also have ideas that can supplement a core portfolio. Other sector ETFs, emerging technologies, and digital assets. You're going to learn more about up-and-coming areas like artificial intelligence, robotics, quantum computing, digital assets, private markets, biotech, and other transformational trends that may not be a part of traditional advisory relationships. You're going to understand the why and not just the what. The goal isn't simply to give you an investment name. It's to help you understand the larger economic and technological trend behind an opportunity so you can make more informed decisions. And rather than trying to interpret every market headline yourself and trying to translate technical information that your financial firm gives you, you're going to get ongoing perspective about the economy, market cycles, major investment themes, and what they could mean for your wealth. The more you understand, the more comfortable you'll be with your overall strategy. Markets change and news happens, and your financial advisor's role isn't to pick up the phone and explain that to you, but mine is. And every month we have a webinar where I update you on all of the news topics, all of our investment portfolios and technologies and how they're performing. And we have a tremendous community where conversations are about investing, opportunities, financial freedom, and building greater wealth. This is not a community that tells you not to drink coffee or talks about Roth IRAs. That you can Google and get that information yourself. We're about compounding your money and creating wealth, and doing that in the most time-efficient way possible for you. Your financial advisor can help you manage your wealth, and the VIP experience helps you expand your financial knowledge, discover new opportunities, and become the CEO of your wealth. If that's something you'd like to know more about, come and join the Be Wealthy and Smart VIP experience. You only join once and you have lifetime access. There's no ongoing membership fees or recurring charges. In the show notes is a special code that will allow you to save 50% off of normal membership, and there's no risk to you because you have a 30-day free look. If for any reason you aren't happy, you'll get a prompt refund. But my bet is you're going to enjoy being the CEO of your wealth, and things are going to make a lot more sense to you than they have. And if you want to know more about wealth building, this is the place to do it. There's no minimum required in your portfolio. There's no investment experience necessary. And we accept members inside or outside the United States. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.